Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Sunday, Sunday, March 22nd. I'm jumping ahead. Sunday, March 22nd, maybe because I can't wait for the playoffs to get here. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, Mr. Chicago, we're going to call him today, Mr. Sun-Times. His obviously a story in the paper today in the Chicago Sun-Times, which is great to see. But the Sunday NHL slate, we're here to break it down. We're going to do the recap in a minute. We're going to get right to the first two games on the board for Sunday. And we do know that there's one. I thought this was 12:30 initially, but no, it's actually starting right now, like at noon Eastern here. I have nothing anyway on it, but I'll just mention briefly what I would lean with here. Winnipeg Jets, New York Rangers. Rangers minus 115, home favorites, 6 the total. This game just getting underway right now. It was a pass for me. It really had no interest in betting it. You know, you got a Jets team that's not playing well on the road on an early start game. I'm not taking them. And the Rangers, I'm not laying a price with them. We've got Eric Comrie versus Dylan Garand, and Dylan Garand making his NHL debut for the New York Rangers in this game because Jonathan Quick's not available to play. So he'll get his opportunity. Decent numbers down in Hartford with the Wolfpack in the AHL. I think it was 283 goals against average is what I saw. Decent numbers, not great, but certainly not terrible either. But it was just a really tough game. My first thought is you got Comrie and Garand, backup goalies, lean over, but Comrie's actually been very good the last few times he's been in net, and he got the better of me, I remember, when I bet St. Louis against Winnipeg not too long ago. He played very well in that game, so he's given the Jets some decent performances. And the one thing I can say about the debut of Garand, regardless of his numbers down in the American Hockey League, this is a guy that you expect in the first start of his NHL career. All the teams are going to play hard for a goalie in this situation. So will the Rangers, now, are they capable of playing good defense in front of them is the question, but I think they're going to try to and at least give a good effort defensively here for Dylan Garand in his first start. But this is definitely, if I get involved in this game, it'll be live, nothing pregame. And Alex, I think you're in the same boat.
Yeah, and with Garand, I mean, the thing you worry about is, run support. Obviously we've seen the Rangers just struggle to score goals consistently at home throughout the year. It's not really now it's the perfect opponent to put him in against a Jets team that we feel has kind of crashed and bottomed out over the last couple of games, and especially a Comrie start as well. So this should be a game where they say, can the Rangers not just only give Garand some support on the back end, but can they give him some goals as well? That's what I worry about. So yeah, this is a clear pass for me.
Yeah, no question. Like I said, maybe something live we'll look at as far from a betting standpoint here, but pregame, didn't really want to get involved here with Jets and Rangers. This game here next, I didn't initially have much here on this next game. This starts at 12:30 Eastern. We've got Colorado, Winnipeg. Colorado minus 160 road favorites. The total here looks like it is currently 6.5. Depending on which book you are using. So make sure you shop around as far as this total for the Avs and the Capitals. Early start affair. I'm looking at the matchup here. Mackenzie Blackwood is confirmed for Colorado, and it is Logan Thompson, who has had one hell of a week for the Washington Capitals. The Ottawa game and the New Jersey game, he was outstanding in those games. I'm going to dabble just a little bit here in the first period and the full game money line on Washington. Here in this game. I hate this spot for Colorado. I really do. I think this is a funky spot for them. It's a real early 12:30 p.m. Eastern, early Sunday afternoon start. I remember just recently they went to Winnipeg for a very early afternoon game on a weekend, and they were awful. They looked dead as a doornail, totally flat, didn't really play well, and they lost to the Winnipeg Jets on the road in an afternoon game on the weekend. And don't tell Washington that they can't make the playoffs. I think it's going to be very difficult for them. It's been difficult for them to gain ground, even during their current 4-1-1 stretch in their last 6 games. But they're playing with that effort to try to make it. They're playing very good defensively. Logan Thompson's been absolutely outstanding. And I've seen enough of Colorado on the road in these games away from home on an early start situation like this where they haven't played well. And it's like they've laid an egg. They've had a clunker in some of these situations. So like I said, I think just based on the schedule of this, the scheduling spot here, the time of this game being what it is, Colorado is in a spot too where it's not like a do or die for them to get 2 points on a nightly basis, a daily basis right now. They're probably still going to win the Central Division, and Dallas could still catch them, but Colorado does have games in hand on them. I just think just situationals point to a little bit of value here on Washington. So a little sprinkle on the first period and the full game money line here for me with the Capitals. And not to mention, Thompson's been great. So it's not like it's been easy to put the puck past him the last few times he's been in net for the Washington Capitals. And plus, Avs did clinch a playoff spot. Obviously, they've still got to clinch the division. There's other work to be done. But like I said, they're in a position right now where they're still probably going to win the division. It would take a lot because they've got games in hand on Dallas right now. It would take a lot to probably lose that position. So I just think things situationally all point to Washington. Now, we know Colorado is still the better team. But I would say Washington's got the better goalie right now in this game because Mackenzie Blackwood, I've not loved. Can anyone really love the way he's played of late here for the Avs? I sure haven't been impressed with Mackenzie Blackwood of late. So I think there's a chance that Washington could be a live home dog here. Alex, what do you think? Colorado, Washington.
I would take a shot with this under 6. I mean, we've been riding these Sunday unders, Sunday afternoon unders. This definitely feels like one of those games that could start off low and slow. And like you said, if the Avs aren't really engaged, Washington takes a 1-0, 2-0 lead. They can just kind of sit on it. So at plus $1.02 is what I see at Bet Online. I'm seeing plus 100. So definitely worth a shot here. You don't play a lot of unders. This is one I kind of like.
Yeah, exactly. We know those Sunday before 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, we've had some earlier overs lately. It hasn't been nearly as dominant for the unders the last couple of weeks, these early start Sunday games. But this one definitely feels like it. Like Washington I can't bet an over with Washington right now. Like they are playing low and slow. They're trying to win games 2-1, 3-1. They're not really lighting it up offensively at the moment. They're just doing enough and then relying on their defense and more specifically relying on Logan Thompson, who's been, brilliant here really for the last few games that we've seen him in net. So that's been the way to go about it, winning games lately for the Caps. But I think they're worth just a small shot here for this early start affair based on the price you're getting in that plus 150 range. As far as props for this game, there are a couple. I like Ryan Leonard. He scored last game. He scored in 3 of the last 5. Protas is on a back-to-back game goal-scoring streak for the Capitals as well. So there's a couple of props that I'm interested in. Maybe Nelson as well. For the Colorado Avalanche on their side. So those are some props that I'm getting involved with here for the Avs and the Capitals. And again, note the start time. This one gets underway in about 20 minutes from now. All right, the next pair of games are 3 p.m. Eastern start times. Actually, no, sorry. We're going to roll back. We're going to hold off on Nashville, Chicago next up because now we'll go back and do the recap of Saturday. And it was a wild Saturday in NHL action. Lots of intrigue, of course, throughout the card, start to finish. It started with a pretty crazy game with Winnipeg-Pittsburgh. Back and forth it went. Pittsburgh with a 5-4 shootout win. Was that 8 straight overs now for Pittsburgh? After that one, they've just been an over machine. Like they're scoring and they're allowing. It's basically been the same thing with the Penguins now in recent games. But they find a way. They give up the early lead. We thought they were going to blow Winnipeg out of the arena. When we were on the air yesterday, when Pittsburgh got out to a 2-0 lead in the first 2 minutes, Winnipeg did battle back, but Pittsburgh ends up getting the job done and the victory in a shootout 5-4. It was a great game again for Erik. Erik Karlsson and his offensive ways lately have been as good as I've seen them in a long time. He had another very strong game offensively from the blue line for the Pittsburgh Penguins and a pair of goals. A 5-4 win for Pittsburgh. Very entertaining game. The Vegas Golden Knights, they're just snake bit. They actually didn't play that bad of a game yesterday. They outshot Nashville double, 40-20. Puck just won't go in the freaking net for them right now. Incredible offensive doldrums right now. 1 goal in the last 9 periods of hockey for the Vegas Golden Knights. 1 goal in their last 3 games combined, and they lose 4-1 to Nashville. And they're not getting saves either. Like, not a great game from Akira Schmid. And Aiden Hill had actually been playing a little bit better, but even he had a rough game against Utah the last time we saw him, and they just can't bury a puck right now. That's just all there is to it. The puck luck's not on their side, and they're just gripping their sticks, and It's not happening right now offensively for the Vegas Golden Knights. And then the backbreaker was, and Mitch Marner's done, that was a Leafy thing for Mitch Marner to do, the type of shit we would see from him in Toronto for those years, where he terrible turnover at the blue line on the power play, and it leads to a Nashville short-handed goal. I don't know what the hell he was thinking there, but he can be like that sometimes, a little haphazard with the puck. And that Tyson Jost short-handed goal to make it 3-0, that was the dagger goal. And Mitch Marner was the root cause of that, with a terrible turnover when Vegas had the power play at the time. But another disheartening loss for Vegas, another dismal day for the division. 0-6 for the Pacific Division collectively. Does anyone want to win this damn division? Anyone? Does anyone care about being a good fucking team in this Pacific Division? Oh my gosh, it's embarrassing to see it. Like, only Anaheim right now is a team showing a little bit of killer instinct right now in this, and they're one of the younger teams, and only them have kind of stepped up and put some wins on the board. I mean, Anaheim's in the catbird seat right now. They're still 3 points up on everyone else who can't get their shit together right now in that Pacific Division. Minnesota, credit to them, 2-1 overtime win against Dallas. We cashed the draw there in that game. We did lose with Dallas, a disappointing loss for them, but give the Wild credit. They end up getting it courtesy of a Vladimir Tarasenko overtime winner to get past Dallas 2-1. Philly, how about a 3-0 sweep through California? No one's talking about the Flyers, Alex. They're still in the mix. They're still in the race. They're 4 points out of the final wild card. Rick Tocchet, man, him and his Flyers, they won't go away. What a job in California. 3-0, sweeping the Ducks, Kings, and Sharks, and a 4-1 victory for Philadelphia against San Jose. San Jose slumping at the wrong time right now. There's another team that's not been a good homestand for the San Jose Sharks right now, and all of a sudden their offense is dried up the last couple of games as well. Shut out by Buffalo, 1 goal yesterday against Philadelphia. So some issues right now in San Jose. Buffalo, what else is new? Another day, another win for the Buffalo Sabres. Are we even surprised anymore? 4-1 win against the Los Angeles Kings. Workmanlike effort. They cracked it open in the third period. Dahlin on the power play. How about Sam Carrick with 5 goals as a member? Sam Carrick been absolutely spectacular for the Sabres. No question about that. I think when you look at the situation right now for this team, it's been impressive to witness how things have been going for them of late. So, like I said, Sam Carrick has fit in perfectly. You got to give Jarmo Kekalainen a lot of credit for that, no doubt. Jarmo Kekalainen was the one that went out and got Sam Carrick, and he's made a difference. I don't think anyone saw this kind of offense from him showing up for the Sabres. We know he'd give you grit, physicality. Yeah, it was a nice goal, too. He made a great move. Like, this guy's clearly got more skill than people thought. And he certainly put that on display in that very big second goal to give Buffalo the lead in the third period. There was, I don't know if Jonathan would know this, but I was watching it back and forth, that game. Some on the Sabres broadcast, some on the Kings broadcast. Is Jim Fox okay health-wise? Because I was looking, his neck there, it looks like it's, anorexic almost. Like, I'm worried. Has he been battling something or something? He looked very like he's been ill or something, Jim, in the booth. And I know he had some sore throat and bad sore throat a few days ago, but yeah, he didn't look right, Jim Fox. Hopefully he's okay, but I just noticed that, like, his neck looked very thin, so I was wondering if he's got any health issues, but it's just something I noticed. He's fine. Okay. That's good to know. I don't know. Just that's good. Maybe he's just in great shape, keeping himself in good condition. Maybe that's it. But yeah, it's just something I noticed when they had the booth shot of him with John Kelly yesterday during that game. But it's good to know because I was like a little concerned that maybe he had a health issue. But good to know because Jim Fox been doing it a long time on Kings television, and good to know it's not anything serious. All right, but a nice win for Buffalo, 4-1, and LA's back in action tonight against the Utah Mammoth. So that'll be interesting to see if they can bounce back. Columbus with a 5-2 victory over Seattle. They just keep on rolling too. This Rick Bowness jacket story is something to behold. A great win for them yesterday. Again, 5-2. It was great to see Kent Johnson score. I'm telling you, Kent Johnson, don't give up on him. I think he's still going to end up having the Kings. That is funny. That Kings are making him sick. Okay. It's, yeah, that's true. This is the kind of season, the Kings would probably not just make Jim Fox sick, they'd make a lot of people sick. That's another story. Back to Columbus. They won 5-2 against Seattle. A nice job. We had the team total over with the Jackets in that game. So a nice win for them. And here they are, third in the Metro. And they were so happy to see the Montreal Canadiens bludgeon the New York Islanders to keep them 2 points ahead of the New York Islanders for the Metropolitan third place spot. What a job by Montreal. 7-3, Mr. Saturday night. What more can we say about Cole Caulfield on a Saturday night? This is just like, again, another terrific performance, a hat trick for Cole Caulfield. Like I said, if you're not betting Cole Caulfield props on a Saturday night, I don't know what to tell you. He just continues to produce and make it a show on a Saturday night. And he was dynamic again last night. I thought Montreal, as far as their offensive puck movement, it was sensational. Slavkovsky was tremendous last night as well. And we can't forget about one of the highlights on the Islanders side. Yes, one of two bargain bin specials that cashed for me last night. Emil Heineman for the New York Islanders at plus 420 against his old team early in the first period, tied it up 1-1. So it was great to be able to cash with Emil Heineman for one of two bargain bin special winners on the Saturday board. A 2-0 sweep for me with the bargain bin special. Of course, we cashed later on with Anthony Cirelli for Tampa Bay at plus 350. So it was great to see that. Ottawa gets it done against Toronto. It's another team total over winner, 3.5. And I mentioned that parlay that won as well yesterday, over 2.5 team total parlay with Columbus and Ottawa. Didn't really need to bring it down to 2.5. If I had the guts, I could have all totaled them to 4.5 on a parlay. That would have really paid well because they both got to 5. But we'll take it as far as the two team totals that I really liked cashing in with Ottawa and Columbus. St. Louis 3-1 against Vancouver. God, it was back and forth with over or Blues for best bet. I went with the over. Bad call. But the Blues did get it done. We did cash the money line there. We pushed on the team total. They win 3-1 against the Vancouver Canucks. Boston, man, Jeremy Swayman, incredible performance. They won that game because of Jeremy Swayman. Over 40 shots faced. He was absolutely outstanding. 4-2 win for the Bruins, who have not been winning many games on the road lately, but they were able to get a huge road win and a big-time 2 points last night in Detroit against the Red Wings. And look, I don't know how the ratings are going to be for that game. I mean, the NCAA tournament's going on at the same time, but ABC on prime time couldn't have asked for a much better game. It was a terrific hockey game last night with the Red Wings and the Bruins. There was a little animosity. There was some great goals. The goaltending on both sides was very good, especially from Swayman, who outdueled Gibson because there was that one goal that Gibson gave up, which ended up being the game winner to Zadorov. He was very good too, Gibson, but geez, that's the one goal that, yikes, not the kind of goal that Gibson's been giving up during this great run that he's been on. But he's got to have that. He's got to make that save on Zadorov there in that third period. But unfortunately, he didn't. And it ended up being a nice win for Boston, 4-2. And we wrapped up the night with Tampa Bay. They keep rolling on this road trip, 3-0 on the trip, 5-2 win against Edmonton. Vasilevsky was great. Obviously, there was a moment there where they, Darnell Nurse, obviously, injuring Brandon Hagel. Hagel had to go to the back. And I like that they stuck up for Hagel. That's what a good team culture is with Tampa Bay. There was a little animosity in that game, but the Lightning get a 5-2 win. And here's Edmonton, one of the many, Alex, in the Pacific Division that just can't seem to get out of their own way right now. They lose back-to-back to the teams from the state of Florida at home. Alex, your thoughts on a busy Saturday?
Yeah, we continue to talk about this decline of the Pacific Division, and like I said, it's absolutely fascinating to see, like I said, what team's going to, just string together a few wins and try and run away with this thing, and it's opened up the wild card race now to the point where we see two Central teams possibly get in. You got Nashville in action today. You got Utah in action today. If they can keep riding and grabbing those points, they can keep like I said, San Jose and LA's at bay and Seattle, teams that were firmly looking to be in playoff spots at one time a few weeks ago. But like I said, no one's taking the reins there in that spot. Good win for the Wild against Dallas, but that was the game where you could tell both teams were missing players. You could still tell the Wild still having issues passing the puck. Like I said, without Kaprizov, your best passer on the ice by far is Quinn Hughes. And you can't afford to have those kind of sloppy games. Like we've said, the passing's still been sloppy. The one goal that they got in regulation off of Bobby Brink was because both teams were playing like dog shit right then. The puck was going back and forth in the neutral zone. He picked it up, got a great breakaway, and was able to score on a nice goal. But things have been looking really rough for them offensively, and that's not the way they want to be playing heading into the playoff series against Dallas. And when Dallas is fully healthy, they play a much cleaner game as well. So that was the takeaway. I watched that whole entire contest in that spot. And what else did I want to touch? Oh, of course, Montreal. I mean, that game was just it sucked that you could tell at one point, okay, Montreal's on their way with this. The draw was going to fall apart, but when you cash in with Cole Caulfield, you had an anytime goal plus 155, had 2 goals at 10-1. Didn't run it back like I had the last couple of weeks with the 3 points. Should have definitely done that as he ends up with a hat trick and 4 points in that game. But like you said, it's automatic for me. As long as he's playing on a Saturday night the rest of the way, even if they're in the playoffs, I will be on Cole Caulfield to score 1 goal and 2 goals, certainly, with the way that he's been playing right now.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's just a must bet now on a Saturday night. Like, this is not anything new or different either. He's had multiple multi-goal games on a Saturday night this season for the Montreal Canadiens, and was able to do it once again. 7 goals for Montreal, not 1 point for Lane Hutson. That's a great call by Hal in the chat right there. Yeah, it's amazing. Hudson didn't get involved in any of the goals as far as chipping in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Got to mention it. It's on YouTube. Just search it. John Cooper, After Hours. Outstanding. Tremendous interview with him. As you knew it would be, because the guy's very, he's a great speaker. He's very charismatic. He's got a great story as well into how he got into coaching. And obviously he's had 14 years under his belt. He had a great story, too, about how he ran away from home when he was 6 years old, too. And that story about how his late dad, it was about his late dad who just passed away, was able to mend the fences and convince him, hey, come back home here. And it was a great story. I mean, he's a great storyteller, too. Like, my goodness, like that interview could have gone on for an hour or two, and it probably would have been amazing. But they only had like 20 minutes with him. But it was great. So I definitely urge you to check it out. If you haven't done so already, definitely, like I said, worth a watch with John Cooper on the Hockey Night in Canada After Hours last night. Now, I don't know if this game is going to be worth a watch as we roll back and continue our breakdown of the Sunday card, but it is someone I know, a game that I know Alex will be watching because his team's involved. It's the Nashville Predators taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. We've got even money, minus 110 both sides. The total here sitting at 6 across the board. What a world that we live in, that the Nashville Predators are now currently sitting in a playoff spot. Incredible. I mean, this is a team that has been not really talked about, not really discussed over the last couple of weeks. Just saying, you know what? They traded some pieces away. They're still 4 or 5 points out. So we don't really think they've got a great chance to get into the playoffs. And because everybody else is puking all over themselves, vomiting all over themselves in the West, especially that Pacific Division group of teams, here come the Nashville Predators, now in the second wild card spot at 73 points, 1 clear of LA, 2 points ahead of Seattle, 3 points ahead of San Jose, entering this matchup this afternoon against Chicago. So we'll see. But now they're in a playoff spot. And now the pressure gets even bigger, to avoid the trap game, if you will. If you're the Nashville Predators here, they'll try to against this Chicago Blackhawks team. Chicago coming off a 4-1 loss to the Colorado Avalanche. They were just absolutely destroyed on the shots on goal category. 49-20 were the shots on goal in that game in favor of the Colorado Avalanche. We should see Spencer Knight back. There are some injuries, though, for Chicago. Oliver Moore still out. Mangiapane out. Louis Crevier looks like he's going to be out as well for the Blackhawks on the blue line for this game. And there is some interesting goalie news. We could be talking about the other. Now, it's the other Matt Murray that might be starting here for the Nashville Predators here in this game. He hasn't played in the NHL yet this season. Onanen, of course, has been playing the last couple of games here for the Nashville Predators because Saros has been unavailable. The last check on Saros is the upper body injury. He's not available today. They've already ruled him out for this game. Don't think Andrew Burnett is going to be excited about throwing in Onanen on a back-to-back after winning against Vegas. And look, we got to give Onanen some due. We've given him a lot of grief on this show for his poor performance. He's been really good the last couple times. He was excellent against Vegas. You can say what you want about Vegas can't put a puck in the ocean right now. Onanen was very solid in net for the Predators yesterday against the Golden Knights. But I think we're going to see Matt Murray here for the Nashville Predators on the back-to-back. It'll be interesting to see how he fares because he was in the Dallas organization, and he's gotten into 4 NHL games in the past. I know he started 3 in 2022, ended up with a 3.39 goals against and 844 save percentage. So, again, very small sample size, limited sample size here with Matt Murray. But again, this is a guy that's going to make his first start. If he does start for Nashville, it'll be his first start in the NHL with this team. So sometimes you could see the team step up their defensive effort in light of that. So this one is not a game I'm going to bet pregame. I'm going to wait, see how it goes during the game. At this price, it looks very, very tantalizingly cheap on Nashville, minus 110. But I don't know. I've got a feeling in my stomach here that there's not going to be an easy game for the Predators, even though you would think it should be. Alex, what do you think here? Predators, Blackhawks.
Yeah, this is one where all the plays that I'll need to confirm with both goalies, because I did see where we could be a potential that Onanen does play today on the second of back-to-backs, being that it's exactly 24-hour start time. Not like they played an early game yesterday, so they feel like he could be fine enough to go. So definitely want to wait on that. Also want to wait on confirmation of Spencer Knight. If it is Spencer Knight and it's Justus Onanen, I will be on Hawks money line. And probably have a little team total split as well. Like I said, this is a Nashville team where, okay, you've played well against weaker opponents, and this is another weak opponent, an opponent you've played well against. But now you're starting to feel that momentum of, okay, here you are in the playoff spot. And we saw when Nashville was in this kind of spot before, that's when they kind of teetered down and fell out of the race and looked like, okay, they might be stalling off pieces. Things are kind of wrapping up. This is not, going to be a run for them to the postseason. Now that things have turned around, like you said, it's a Hawks team. They've been playing teams in this range of wild card contender tough. We saw how they played against San Jose. We saw how they played a couple of games, getting the wins against Utah. So this is a spot where Chicago at home, early start time, could feel like maybe they could play spoiler. Sorry about that. Play spoiler and get a win here. So this more than likely will be a Hawk spot for me. Like I said, but I need confirmation of Spencer Knight, and I would ideally like to have confirmation that Onanen's going for the second game in 2 nights as well. I do have a bargain bin for this spot, Hal, strictly for you, as a Hawks player that I like to score a goal here tonight. Along with that, so that'll be something I have pregame, regardless of who's in them.
All right, there we go. Good stuff. As far as props for this game, now a couple of props, even though, like I said, side and total, I'm waiting to bet a couple of things, but I am interested in Matthew Wood for Nashville, who's actually scored against Chicago before in the past. O'Reilly Auto Parts has actually scored in back-to-back games for Nashville as well. So those are a couple of props on the Predators that I'd be interested in here for this game this afternoon. For Chicago, maybe, you mentioned Ryan Green a couple days ago. I like that he's been getting some chances, so I may go to the well with Mr. Green this afternoon here for the Chicago Blackhawks. So a couple of props there that I'll be eyeing as far as Predators and Blackhawks. It looks like Winnipeg's on the board. 1-0 Winnipeg Jets. So Dylan Garand giving up his first NHL goal in the opening period there. All right, Carolina and Pittsburgh. We've got Carolina minus 140 road favorites, 6.5 being the total in this game. I mean, this Pittsburgh team, we've talked about it. It's 8 straight games that have gone over the total, and these aren't even close to staying under. These are 7, 9, 9, 8, 7, 9, 11, 9 as far as total goals throughout these games are concerned. They are just a team they're generating a ton of offense. Crosby being back has helped. Their blue line's activating. Erik Karlsson, it's been a long time since he's played this well as far as offensive play is concerned. Getting involved in the rush, scoring goals, jumping in, making things happen offensively. And then, of course, the other element is they've been leaky defensively, the Penguins. And Skinner and Shilovs, the two goalies, haven't been great for the Penguins of late. They've been susceptible. Obviously, we saw Shilovs yesterday. Pretty damn sure we're going to get Skinner here this afternoon for Pittsburgh in this game. But again, those two goalies are they're the same right now. They both haven't been great, at this point in time. So Skinner for the Penguins is what I expect. Probably we'll see Freddie Anderson for Carolina. It's been more of a back and forth with the goalie rotation for Rod Brindamore lately. It was Bussy against Toronto. And the same thing right now for the Hurricanes. They're not getting saves consistently right now, this Carolina team. Bussy has not played as well since the Olympic break. Did you see a couple of the goals now, they won the game against Toronto on Friday, but did you see a couple of those goals he gave up? They were terrible. That one goal where Tavares just spins around and puts it through the 5-hole, that's a terrible goal to give up. Bussy wasn't giving up those kind of goals before the Olympic break. And I just noticed Carolina's overall team structure defensively, it's not as like it is when it's at its best. They've been very, very susceptible to breakdowns and odd man rushes and just haven't been locking things down defensively of late, this Hurricanes team. That's concerning. And if it's Anderson in net, do we trust Anderson? Because he was in net for the game. This is actually going to be the third time that the Hurricanes and Penguins are playing each other in a 12-day period. Freddie was in net just a few days ago when Carolina won 6-5, and he gave up 5 goals. Carolina had multiple leads and couldn't shut the door. Pittsburgh kept coming back in that one. So, like I said, this to me is a goal fest waiting to happen. I mean, we've now had 2 pieces of evidence this month that these teams just play high-scoring games. They're both scoring and they're both conceding right now. So for me, it's over 1.5. It's both teams. I'm going trifecta in this game. And I know the Sunday unders for these early games are scary, but I'm making an exception for this game because right now these games are flying off the charts right now as far as these two teams. They're both scoring goals in bunches, and they are not getting great defensive play, nor are they getting great goaltending. Skinner and Shilovs, Bussy and Anderson, put them all in one group, and none of them have been great for the last couple of weeks. So I'm on over 1.5 first period. I'm on both teams to score first period, and I'm on this full game over 6.5 here as well. And I think the draw is worth a look in this game too. I mean, I lean Penguins as a home dog here, honestly, but the draw is the better option for me. I mean, both of the meetings this month with these two teams went past regulation. 3 of the last 4 meetings have gone past regulation. 2 straight Carolina games have gone past regulation. 2 straight Pittsburgh games have gone past regulation. So everything is screaming draw. Got to bet it. Alex, what do you think? Carolina, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I bet this morning was the draw grab plus 331 over at Bet Online. I would take a shot with Pittsburgh to win in overtime or shootout plus 600 price you can get over there at FanDuel with that. And as far as the overs go, I like the over, but I think we can wait. I think because of the fact that you mentioned we've seen these two teams play, this will be the 3rd time in 12 days, both high scoring. I think it could start off a little bit slower. So I'm a little cautious. I'm not looking at first period over. I'm looking at full game over, but I want to wait and try and grab a 6, maybe even a 5.5 in game. So draw and Pittsburgh to win in overtime or a shootout pregame, and I'll be looking for that in game over.
Good stuff indeed. He's going to be I'm going to mention it right now. We'll save the second bargain bin for later, but once again, I'm going with a daytime bargain bin and a nighttime bargain bin for today's card. My daytime bargain bin is from this game. It's Erik Karlsson. Got to ride the wave. Plus 520 for him to find the back of the net. Back-to-back games with a goal. I haven't seen him this aggressive offensively in some time, and I think he's feeling confident right now because the puck's going in and he is scoring goals. And if you're a defenseman, what makes you want to jump into the rush and keep being aggressive when you see the puck go in? And it's going in right now for Erik Karlsson. So plus 520, it is officially my first of 2 bargain bin specials for this Sunday card. I don't even hate another defenseman that suddenly scored in back-to-back games for Carolina, and that's K'Andre Miller, believe it or not. Plus 725 is an excellent price as far as K'Andre Miller is concerned for the Carolina Hurricanes. He's all of a sudden chipped in goals in back-to-back games. Brian Rust has scored in 3 of the last 5 games for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Obviously, Shinikov is always worth a look. He scored yesterday in the win against the Jets for this Pittsburgh Penguins team. If you look at the lineup here for Carolina, Logan Stankoven, I've mentioned him, could be someone to target here as well. He's been getting some good looks lately for the Hurricanes. So it's a good goal. In a game we think there's going to be goals. It's a good game to attack the goal prop market for sure here with the Hurricanes and the Penguins this afternoon. All right, so those are all the afternoon games. Everything else is a night game here for this Sunday slate, and including this one, which is a massive, massive game in Belmont, New York at UBS Arena. Columbus Blue Jackets, New York Islanders. We've got Columbus minus 120 road favorites, 6 the total here in this game. Now, the Islanders got their teeth kicked in last night. Absolutely. 7-3 loss to Montreal. Terrible game, terrible loss. It just got away from them, got away from Sorokin, got away from them defensively. Cole Caulfield went off. It just turned into a disaster of a night for the New York Islanders. Normally, when you've got a solid team off a loss like that, I want to back them the very next night. There's no chance I'm stepping in front of this Columbus freight train right now. I cannot do it. I won't do it. I think this actually two teams kind of going in opposite directions. When you start to look at this Islanders schedule, who have they really beaten in the last 10 games? They beat Florida. I remember that at home, 5-4. I remember that game. They were fortunate to win it. San Jose, 2-1. I guess that's a pretty decent win. But the last 3 wins were St. Louis, Calgary, and Toronto. How much can you make a big deal of that if you're the New York Islanders? How can you say, wow, well, we're really rolling right now because we beat Calgary, we beat Toronto, and we beat St. Louis? That's nothing to write home about. When they step up against any kind of good competition lately, they've also lost twice to LA, they've lost to Anaheim, they've lost to Ottawa, and they lost, of course, 7-3 to Montreal last night. This is just a team in Columbus that's playing better hockey right now. They're better than the New York Islanders right now, this Columbus Blue Jackets team, period. So give me Columbus here, minus 120. I'm not even that scared of the fact that the Islanders are coming off this blowout loss. And I get it. They're going to probably want to play hard, play well tonight. You don't think Columbus is coming to play? They're playing with great confidence. Rick Bowness and this team right from day one. We're not thinking of the standings. I mean, the media is going on about how Columbus has worked their way back into a playoff spot, third in the Metro. You should hear the way the players and Bowness are receiving those questions. We don't want to hear it. You stick that talk and put it somewhere else. We're not interested. We're focused on the task we need to get done, and that's showing up every game and getting 2 points and just looking in the short term, looking to the next game. He's going about it the right way. This team's going about it the right way. It's going to be Jet Greaves in net on the back-to-back. They've already confirmed Ilya Sorokin's back in net for the New York Islanders. Patrick Waugh is going to give Sorokin a chance at redemption, not giving David Riddick the start. So we'll see if he can bounce back. I would have liked Columbus more, honestly, if Riddick was in. But I'm still on Columbus. I'm still on him, minus 120, and I'll sprinkle on the draw here as well because I expect a hotly contested game tonight, and certainly one I will be watching from start to finish. Alex, what do you think here? Blue Jackets, Islanders, a big one.
Yeah, it's favored and draw for me as well. And I'll have, of course, a little sprinkle on Columbus to win in overtime or a shootout. And I would have, like I said, I would have probably been more just on Columbus money line team total had this been a Riddick start. But Waugh pulled Sorokin early and made it clear right after the game that he was going to go right back into the net for this game tonight, which that he's one of those guys, kind of like Vasilevsky and a couple other guys in this league where, he's going to take that to heart, getting back in the net after having a bad start and a bad outing. So I think this could be a bit of a slower game, which is why I do like that draw. But ultimately, I can see Columbus winning it. So I have a piece of the money line, minus $1.20, but I also will have plus 500 on the win, past regulation.
All right, this is a good one. This is like a playoff game in March. Now, we've had a bunch of these this week. Boston-Detroit last night was like that. Islanders-Canadiens last night was like that. Playoff game in March. That's what this is. Detroit-Montreal a couple nights ago was like that. Absolutely. So, like I said, I just think the Jackets are the better team right now. That's the way I see it. And I like the way their team game is right now. No question. I think they can still get it done. Now, look, this is the Islanders off an embarrassing game. I get it. I expect them to play hard. I just don't think it's going to be enough, and I think Columbus is a better team right now. So I'm still going to take Columbus here, minus 120 in this game. And as I mentioned as well, we'll look at the draw here in this matchup as well. As far as props go, I do like Emil Heineman again. He has been heating up once again. He got into this crazy streak of scoring goals earlier in the year. He's now scored in 3 of the last 5 games for the Isles. Damon Severson, for Columbus, crazy as it is to say, plus 900 to score. He scored in back-to-back games. Matthew Schaefer, he senses how big these games are, and he's a big game player. We're already finding that out, even as an 18-year-old rookie for this Islanders team. Matthew Schaefer has scored in back-to-back games for the New York Islanders, and plus 425 is the price that we're seeing for him to find the back of the net. Matthew Olivier starting to heat up. Give me Kent Johnson as well. He scored yesterday. I think that'll give him some confidence as well at the moment. So, like I said, this is definitely a situation where I think some good goal props here in this game. I don't know if it's going to go over the total necessarily, because I think the Islanders will look to clamp down a little bit after last night. And Jet Greaves has been very solid the last few times he's been in net for the Jackets. But there's still some decent options here as far as goal props are concerned. All right, Vegas and Dallas. We've got Dallas minus 140, home favorites. The total here sitting at, looks like 5.5 in some spots, 6 at other spots. So make sure you shop around as far as this total is concerned. It's still Dallas or pass. It's still, can't take Vegas right now. I'm a little pissed off I didn't take Nashville yesterday. I don't know why I didn't, but, I said it. I mean, how can you lay minus 140 on the road with Vegas right now? Back-to-back shutout losses at home. They're not scoring. And for some reason, I didn't take it. And so I just left some money on the table with that one. This is different, though. I mean, Vegas was laying minus 140 on the road yesterday. Now they're an underdog, and Dallas is laying a hefty minus 140 here in this game, although they're coming off a bit of a disappointing loss to the Minnesota Wild, considering they were leading that game by a score of 1-0 yesterday. I'm going to probably look at a draw here more than anything. I don't, like I said, I could only look at Dallas, but my thought process will be here is see if I can get a little something better in game on Dallas. Who knows? Maybe Vegas will actually score the first goal for a change. That hasn't happened very often, obviously. But by the way, if you're following the trend, Dallas first goal or Dallas first goal first period, because Vegas, it's been a while, just off the top of my head, since the Vegas Golden Knights have scored the first goal of a hockey game, obviously having scored just once in their last 3 games combined. So interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, this is stars or nothing for me. I'm just going to see if I can get a better price in game with Dallas. Good note from LJ in the chat. 8-2 on a back-to-back this year. Let's not lose sight of that. They've been a very, very good team, the Stars, in the second night of back-to-back situations. That's a very important one as far as pointing that out. And 13-2, the last 15 versus the Western Conference outside of the Central Division. So that's basically 13-2 run for Dallas, their last 15 games against Pacific Division opponents. And, of course, that's Vegas. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want Vegas. Can't do it. They got to show me something. They got to show me a thrust of offense first before I'm backing them. Even as a dog, they got to show it to me before I back them. Alex, anything here for you, Vegas, Dallas?
Yeah, this pregame draw, and like you said, if you like either side, you should be able to grab, I believe, plus money for either way, within the game. So you're looking at 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams decided by 1 goal, and 2 of those have gone past regulation. So plus 330, the draw is definitely worth a look here.
Yeah, a lot of close games. Absolutely. That's what drew me, no pun intended, drew me to the draw with Vegas and Dallas here tonight in this game. Plus, I look, it was not a good result. It was not what you wanted. It looks bad when you see 4-1. But if anyone watched that game against Nashville yesterday, they actually played pretty solid, Vegas. They dominated the play, dominated territorially. But in this sport, that doesn't get you anything if you can't score. And Vegas is finding that out right now at this point in time. You could 40-20 shots on goal advantage, dominating in the offensive zone for most of that game against the Nashville Predators. But who gives 2 shits? If you can't score the goal, if you can't score and put the puck in the freaking net, none of that matters. And that right now is the problem for this Vegas Golden Knights team. By the way, I don't want to come down too harsh on him, but I thought it was a very, you talk about can't find him with a telescope type of game yesterday. That was Jack Eichel for Vegas. Was he even playing yesterday? You couldn't have even realized it. Couldn't have even recognized him out there. He's got to step it up. You need goals right now. That guy can't be taking days off, can't be taking games off. He's got to be noticeable. He's got to be driving the play for this team, period. And to have a game like that from Jack Eichel when you just came off back-to-back shutout home losses Like I said, very disappointing from him yesterday. And then Marner with his ridiculous turnover. They need those two guys to be a whole hell of a lot better than that. As far as in a situation like this, not good. Jason Robertson for the Dallas Stars. Now, I didn't love his defense in overtime. That was pretty bad, but he has scored in back-to-back games here for the Dallas Stars. Certainly has been getting it done at the offensive end of the ice. I see Matty Robb in the chat. He knows all too well that we've mentioned a lot about Sam Steele on this show. As far as goal props, he's been chipping in as well for this Stars team, making the most of his slot on the second line with Duchesne and Ben. Maverick Bourque, always worth a consideration, playing with Wyatt Johnston and Jason Robertson as well. I mean, I'm not taking any Vegas goal props. I'm not. They got to show me they can score as a team before I'm doing that. So if I look at any props here, it's Dallas players in this matchup here between the Golden Knights and the Stars. Just a little scoring update. It's 1-0 Winnipeg after the first period at MSG over the Rangers, and it's still scoreless first period with the Avalanche and the Capitals. All right, we move on to the hottest damn team in the NHL. This team just a freight train that cannot be stopped at the moment. The Buffalo Sabres looking to follow suit of what the Philadelphia Flyers did, and that's go out to California and sweep the 3-game road trip. Flyers did it, and if the Flyers were able to do it, there's definitely a chance this smoking Buffalo Sabres team can do it. Minus 110 even money, both sides, 6.5 the total here in this game. I believe because it's back-to-back, we're going to see Alex Lyon. And I mentioned this yesterday. We didn't see him yesterday. It was UPL, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and he played very solid again in the 4-1 win against the LA Kings. But I said if Alex Lyon gets another start on the road here on this trip, and it's probably going to be tonight, he's going for a consecutive game road win streak record here with one more victory. So you got to believe, but even on a back-to-back after being in LA yesterday, Sabres are going to go balls to the wall to get this W for Alex Lyon and this record for him if he does indeed play tonight in this game for the Buffalo Sabres. 9 straight on the road. He's looking for 10, and I think it's a record. That's what I heard. I don't know what specifically I think it's a franchise record for the Sabres, that no goalie in their history has won 10 straight games on the road. That would be a record for Alex Lyon. Wow. If he's able to get it done tonight. So I could only back, and I love me some Anaheim and Coach Q, and they're the team that got me out of my best bet doldrums Friday night against Utah. So I thank them immensely, and I love that team. You guys know that. But for me, I could only back Buffalo here, minus 110, because they're going to play out of their skull with level of effort. If Alex Lyon is in net, trying to get him that record here tonight against the Anaheim Ducks. So I'm waiting on the goalie confirmations, but I'll probably end up on Buffalo, just dependent upon how much. I might keep it a smaller bet, though. Yeah, I love this Anaheim team, and I could see them, after finally getting back in the win column against Utah, looking to put a better effort. They haven't been playing as good at home lately, some of these recent home games. So I think they'll be looking for a better effort. It's a great game, though, obviously. These are two teams that they're fun teams to watch right now. They've both had good seasons, especially this crazy run of Buffalo. But yeah, for me, I could only back Buffalo here, minus 110. And remember, this is back-to-back, but how tedious a back-to-back is it? You played in LA. We always talk about this with the LA to Anaheim back-to-backs and vice versa. There's no air travel. You probably stay in the same hotel. You're basically driving a bus down the freeway to get to Anaheim from Los Angeles. It's not like this is a big ordeal, playing a back-to-back when it's LA and Anaheim. So, yeah, Sabres are nothing. Alex, what do you think here? Buffalo, Anaheim.
Yeah, like I said, we don't usually fade Anaheim too often, but this definitely screams like a Buffalo spot, and especially if it's Lyon, like I said, going for that record, that's something that certainly he's had a damn good season, but to have that on his resume, and that's talking about a lot of good goalies in Buffalo history over the years, from Dominic Hasek to Ryan Miller, Marty Baron, even all the way back to Tom Barrasso in the 80s, and to have that record would be significant. So I could definitely see Buffalo, like I said, starting want to start out this trip on a hot note and give him that record as well. So if he's confirmed, I'll be on Buffalo money line.
Yeah, you don't hear that U word come out of my mouth very often, Bill A 87, but yeah, I would probably lean under here. I really would. Buffalo's on an under machine right now. Buffalo's not playing over hockey right now. They're doing enough offensively, and they have been excellent defensively. And the goaltending doesn't matter, Lion or UPL. They've both been excellent lately, and that's why they've been and they are playing the right way as a team. They get a lead now, they're shutting it down. Like I've never seen before. Not like I've seen in years, I should say, this Buffalo Sabres team. Like when they get a lead now, 98% of the time, you feel comfortable they're going to bring that game home and win. None of these blown leads and these collapses anymore. Like, when's the last time the Sabres have had a third period lead and blown the game and lost? I can't even remember the last time that happened. I mean, they have figured it out. They have figured out how to play the style of hockey that's going to make you successful April and beyond in the springtime. And we do have to give the old man, Lindy Ruff, a lot. I shouldn't say old man. He's not that old, but it feels like it because he's been around a long time. He's done a great job. He's done a great job. Let's not forget, too, everyone was shoveling dirt on the grave of Lindy Ruff after he got fired in New Jersey. What's New Jersey done since they got rid of him? It's not been a good year this year. That's for sure. At least Lindy Ruff took him to the playoffs one year. You remember. So, this is the revenge of Lindy Ruff, too, right now. People saying he couldn't coach anymore. Boy, has he proven everybody wrong with the season that his Buffalo Sabres are having right now. No question about that. As far as props for this game with Sabres and Devils, why am I saying Sabres and Ducks? You've got Cutter Gauthier scored in 3 straight games. You got to take Sam Carrick. You just have to. And I haven't been aggressive enough in betting Sam Carrick to score. But 3 goals in 3 of the last 5 games, 4 of the last 10 games, 5 goals already as a member of the Buffalo Sabres, and he has scored in back-to-back games for the Buffalo Sabres entering tonight. So he's a must-bet. Rasmus Dahlin might be a good bet. I mean, plus 475. He scored in back-to-back games for the Sabres from the blue line. The captain finding his goal-scoring touch.
Even though we both like Buffalo, I actually have a Duck circled for my bargain bin. I have a second bargain bin coming from this one.
Yeah, no question. Like I said, there's some good options too. Killorn, Granlund, Paling all scored last game for Anaheim in the victory against Utah. If you look at current form as well, Leo Carlsson, has scored in 2 of the last 5 for the Ducks as well. Benson is probably worth a look because he's on the top line. He got a goal against LA yesterday as well. And he's up there still with Thompson and Tuck on the top line for Buffalo. So it's a really good goal prop game. There's really value all over the board as far as goal props in that one. All right, Tampa Bay Lightning, Calgary Flames. Next up, we've got Tampa Bay minus 170, road favorites, 6.5 the total here in this game. Obviously, Tampa Bay, great road trip, 6-2 victories against both Seattle and Vancouver, and a nice 5-2 victory last night over the Edmonton Oilers in what was a very hotly contested game last night between those two teams. It got a little spicy, a little rough, a little nasty. Obviously, there was an incident with Nurse and Hagel. That got Tampa Bay a little bit upset. But the good news is, and then Cirelli fought, I remember, at that moment. And then he looked like he hurt his hand, but it ended up being just a temporary, he came back into the game, Anthony Cirelli. And so did Hagel. Hagel had to go walk down the tunnel after that hit from Nurse. But he ended up, being okay, and he rejoined the game as well. So, like I said, definitely some good news there. There we go. Washington's on the board. Capitals 1-0 over the Avs. That's good. We've got that Caps first period and full game money line split going. Love to see that. All right, but getting back to Tampa Bay and Calgary. So great win last night for the Lightning. Great road trip so far. But here's the thing. I cashed a ticket with Calgary Friday night against Florida, and I noted how I thought it could be a potential no-show for the Florida Panthers. I'm not saying that for Tampa. It's different with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is still trying to win a division. They're still trying to track down the Buffalo Sabres for first in the Atlantic Division. It's not like they can afford to fritter away games and lay eggs and just not show up. They've still got a division to try to win. They're still 4 points back of the Buffalo Sabres. But this is still a spot I don't fully love with Tampa tonight at all, quite honestly. You just had an intense game with Edmonton last night. It got rough. It got pretty heated. There was a good amount of passion and emotion and intensity to that game. Now you're playing on a back-to-back. against a Calgary Flames team that's playing loose and is actually playing pretty well on this homestand if you look at it. They come back home and they beat St. Louis and they beat Florida in there. Now, Tampa Bay is obviously a big step up from that, but I don't like how this sets up for Tampa. Fourth and final game of this road trip. You go home, you play Minnesota, first game back home on a TNT game, if I'm not mistaken, during our betcast on Tuesday night, that Lightning and Wild game. I don't like how this sets up. You're going to have Jonas Johansson in net, most likely on the back-to-back here for Tampa Bay. Devin Cooley's already been confirmed in goal for the Calgary Flames. He hasn't been nearly as good, Devin Cooley, of late, although I think his last start in goal for the Flames was a pretty solid one. Wasn't he in net for that St. Louis game? He was, and he only gave up 1 goal. So that was a good start for Devin Cooley there. For Johansson, post-Olympic break, this has to be discussed. This has to be mentioned. The numbers are bad. They're just not very good. I mean, he has made 3 starts here since the Olympic break. Actually, no, 2 starts, because the one Buffalo game he replaced Vasilevsky, where they lost at home to Buffalo 6-2. He started 2 games since the Olympic break. And actually, in his last 3 starts for Tampa Bay, Jonas Johansson, if you include at Columbus, January 24th, he gave up 6 goals to Columbus in an 8-5 loss. He gave up 5 goals to Carolina in a 5-4 loss. And he gave up 8 goals to the Buffalo Sabres in that epic game, the all-time classic, 8-7. You remember that game? That was a JJ game. Jonas Johansson. Remember we were stunned that Vasilevsky didn't play that game in Buffalo, that epic with all the brawls and fights and crazy fire wagon hockey, 8-7. That was Johansson in net. So, like I said, it's those aren't good numbers. I think it's a very, very dubious spot here for Tampa. I'm going to take the plunge here. They cashed a ticket with them Friday night, and I know Florida's not in the same stratosphere as Tampa Bay right now. I get that. But I'm going to take the plunge here. Calgary plus 150. I'm going to go Calgary team total over 2.5, minus 130. I think I'm going to go with over 6.5. Or actually, there's a couple 6s still out there. I'm going to go with that full game over, too. Look at these Johansson starts. 15 goals, 9 goals, 13 goals. If you go back to January, he played against LA. There was 8 goals in that game. I mean, all the Johansson starts have gone over the total. Now, I know this is Calgary. Nails on a chalkboard offense at times. I get that. But I'm going to trust in them tonight in this spot in a back-to-back. And like I said, another feeling that Tampa Bay doesn't have their A game tonight. So give me Calgary plus 150, Calgary team total over, full game over. Alex, Lightning Flames.
Yeah, I can't trust in Calgary as much as you are, but I can trust in at least that they chip in offensively and get to this over. It's 6.5 minus $1.05, and like there's some 6s around, so you could wait in game 2 and try and get that 6 cheaper. But I definitely think we see goals here. Like I said, Johansson's been brutal the last couple of starts, so give me the over 6.5 here, minus $1.05.
Yeah, going home after the plus they're 3-0 on this trip. 3-0. I think that's the clincher for me. Like that pushes me to bet Calgary here. If they're 0-3 coming into this game, there's no chance I'm betting Calgary. If they had lost every game on this road trip coming into tonight, Tampa Bay, there's no chance I'd be betting Calgary. None. 0. But because they're feeling good, they're 3-0 in this road trip. Even if they lose, they're going home after this. It's still been a great road trip. 3-1 worst case scenario. But Johansson's numbers are ghastly of late in his recent starts. Calgary has shown a little spunk here and a little pep back home at the Saddle Dome since they got back home from that East Coast road trip. I think there's enough meat on the bone here to think Calgary could be live for sure. Not to mention Calgary, 10-26, 10-25 is their road record. Their home record is actually 18-12-4. So 18-16 if you combine the regulation losses and the overtime shootout loss. They actually have a winning record at home this year, the Calgary Flames. So, like I said, I think it's a dog that's worthy of a shot here tonight in this one. As far as props go for this Lightning and Flames game, obviously Kucherov's been red hot. I mean, you're only getting plus 130, but Cirelli, who he's not going to be my second bargain bin special tonight, but he is going to be a bet. Absolutely, plus 330 after scoring in 3 straight games for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Gensel with goals in back-to-back games for the Lightning as well going into tonight. On the Calgary side, if I were to look at the props there, you got Blake Coleman, former Lightning player, of course, on the top line for Calgary with Backlund. Farabee's chipped in a little bit lately. Maybe look toward him. Sharon Govich on that third line. Maybe Olofsson as well, who finally got on the board in the last game. So, like I said, I think there's a chance for goals tonight with Lightning Flames, and another game where there's some good goal prop options on the board. All right, last game. Here we go for this Sunday slate, although we've got Ottawa New York Rangers to talk about after this, the one Monday game, because we are not on with you tomorrow. No show tomorrow, so we'll throw in Senators Rangers after this. But the last Sunday game is the Los Angeles Kings taking on the Utah Mammoth. Utah minus 170, home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. What do you do here with this game? Because Utah can't win at home suddenly. I mean, it's been bizarre to see it. I mean, that's how many losses now in a row at home? 4 or 5 at Delta Center. Cashed a ticket with Anaheim against them on Friday night. Another home loss for the Mammoth in that game. So suddenly they've been slumping here on home ice. Not what you want to see. And 2 of those losses were to Chicago, believe it or not. So, like I said, they haven't been playing well all of a sudden here on home ice. Hard to lay minus 170 with them right now. But I don't know if I'm all that excited about taking LA, going on the road here to altitude on the second of a back-to-back after a 4-1 loss to the Buffalo Sabres here yesterday. So, like I said, this is definitely a game where, I'm not really enamored with the Kings in this spot. I'm not really that excited about a minus 170 price tag on Utah. I do think Utah, though, will win. I do. This could be the night that maybe they get going at home. I'm not interested, though, at minus 170 here in this game. I will bet over 5.5, though. I will bet over 5.5 here in this game. We've talked about how, the Kings overs. The one thing about the Kings is that they had back-to-back unders once under DJ Smith since he took over, and it was against Boston and against the Islanders. And that Islanders game, that was a heartbreaker that game did not go over the total. It should have, but it ended 3-2. It's the only time they've played back-to-back games to the under, LA, since the coaching change. Every other game after an under, they've gone over. After the Islander game, the Jersey game for LA went over. After the Ranger Kings game that stayed under, the Philadelphia LA game flew over the total. So awful low scoring game. We've seen more overs with the Kings post coaching change. So at 5.5, that's what I'll be looking at here in this game is the over. I don't hate the draw either, although it's not one of my favorite draw bets on the card today. Alex, what do you think here? Final Sunday game, Kings Mammoth.
Those are the 2 things I grabbed: over 5.5 and the draw plus 325 was the price that I got. Like I said, this is a spot where these teams need points desperately. This draw season written all over it. And like I said, Utah hasn't been playing well at home. Kings team that's been up and down, of course, throughout this whole entire run. But I definitely expect goals, and definitely like this one go past regulation.
Artemi Panarin, the bread man, back-to-back games with a goal for him. For the LA Kings, Dylan Guenther has scored in 3 of the last 5 games. So I think you start your goal props looking there. Moore and LaFerriere on the second line probably have a little value for Los Angeles. For Utah, I'd say Lawson Krause still up on the top line. It's probably worth a shot here. Someone's saying Kyler Yamamoto here. He's on the 4th line. I know he has scored against LA in the past, and he has scored actually in 2 of the last once in the last 5 games, but someone in the chat apparently liking Kyler Yamamoto here to find the back of the net. Yeah, Vejmelka, very interesting because I think he is going to start here for Utah tonight. Although don't set that. Now it is confirmed. There we go, Karel Vejmelka. Because I know some sites had a projection of Vanacek, but it is confirmed now that it's Karel Vejmelka for Utah. 2-6. 3.58 goals against, 885 save percentage against LA. Not very good numbers for him against the Kings. So it's another reason why I'm shying away here from Utah at this price, like the over. Much prefer the over here in this game than either side. That is for sure. All right, so that's the Sunday slate, but there is one game on Monday, and because there's only one game on Monday, we're talking about it today so that we can take tomorrow off. We won't have a show tomorrow for you. We'll get our rest in, Alex and I, so we can be ready to rock with you on Tuesday for the Daily Show and the Betcast, although Alex won't be on for the Daily Show Tuesday. He will be ready to go for the Betcast on Tuesday night. But I figured with just the one game, we'll talk about it here on this Sunday show. So this is on Monday, the only game in the NHL for Monday Ottawa Senators, New York Rangers. Not every book has lines posted for this game yet, but right now I'm seeing Ottawa minus 190, road favorites at Madison Square Garden. The total 5.5. And this is your Amazon Prime game. Shocker. It's the only game. So, of course, it's your Monday Night Hockey. It's on Monday. It's only on Prime. It's your Monday game on Amazon Prime. I mean, it's Ottawa or nothing for me, clearly. Rangers on a back-to-back after the game this afternoon that they're playing right now as we do this show against Winnipeg. Obviously, you'd think Shesterkin's going to play here with this being the back-to-back for the New York Rangers. But I like the way Ottawa's playing right now. You know, they're not giving up much defensively. Allmark's been steady. The only question with Ottawa is, can you stop controlling games and not scoring enough? Can you stop with that? Because there's been too many games. That's why they're out of the playoffs, Alex. Because there's been tons of games this year where they're doing all the right things. They're controlling the flow. They're out shooting the opponent. They're in the offensive zone, and they have the puck way more than the other team does. But they don't score enough. They don't finish enough of those chances, and they're in a tight game when it shouldn't be a tight game. That was the Washington game last week. They should have won that game. We could have won that game 5-1. But they didn't finish enough of their chances, even though they outplayed Washington, and Washington capitalized on the few chances they got in that game. That's what's been hurting Ottawa. The process has been great. The end result hasn't always been great with Ottawa when they play. But, you know, I do like the way they're playing. They just got to finish more of their chances and not make it so damn stressful on themselves. It's just insane. I mean, how many games this year? 38-21, they're out shooting a team, and it's 2-2 in the third period. I mean, my gosh. I mean, at some point, that's supposed to translate into winning and winning comfortably, at least on a handful of occasions. And it just hasn't happened often enough for Ottawa this year. But yeah, it's Ottawa or pass for me right now. We'll see how this Ranger-Jets game ends up. I might go to Ottawa team total over. You know, it cashed for me against Toronto on Saturday night. It's not like the Rangers are a juggernaut defensively, and Shesterkin is capable, but Shesterkin was also in net. Wasn't he in net for the Columbus game? I think he was against the Jackets, and Jackets got to him for a bunch of goals. So, and Ottawa's going to have the puck. And Ottawa's going to dominate the game and carry the flow. We know that. And it's going to probably be a game, Alex, where it's 34-18 for the Senators in shots on goal. And it's just going to be a question of, do they finish enough? Do they score enough with the chances and the puck possession and all the ozone time that they're probably going to have in this game? So my lean right now is probably Ottawa team total over 3.5 here for this one Monday night. Alex, early leans Monday night, Senators, Rangers.
Yeah, early leans, like I said, to Ottawa team total, full game over with a 5.5. Although, like I said, you know, want to see how the Rangers play it here today, but definitely would be looking at goals of anything else, especially when we talk about a nearly 2-to-1 price here with Ottawa. Like I said, yeah, they haven't made it easy on themselves, and this is another game where they should be able to put the screws to a team. Let's see if they can actually go on and do that.
That's right. Like I said, it's been uncanny how many times you're seeing Ottawa with these great advanced numbers, right? Oh, puck possession, Corsi, expected goals, all that stuff. High danger chances for and against. Ottawa's consistently good in those numbers, in those categories, and yet here they are losing games or in a tie game in the third period when they probably should be leading, and in some situations leading by a comfortable margin. So that is definitely something worth mentioning as far as Ottawa. Prop-wise for this game, I mean, check back tomorrow, but like I said, or the Patreon page, check the Patreon page tomorrow. We'll obviously have all kinds of props for this game, but right now, Pinto is of interest for me for Ottawa, for sure. Ridley Gregg's actually had some good looks lately offensively, so he might be something with a little bit of value right now for the Ottawa Senators as well going into this game. All right, there you have it. That's the Sunday card, and that is Senators Rangers as well for Monday night, since we won't be on tomorrow. Thanks to everyone for joining us on a Sunday. I'm seeing over 500 live viewers. That is awesome. Hit the like button. Appreciate it very much. Get to wizardsportspicks.com. NCAA tournament opening weekend is wrapping up, but still Sweet 16 and beyond still to come in this tournament. Number one for me on the website in college basketball and NHL. Make sure you check it out. NHL and NBA still on a daily basis, and MLB starts this week, the baseball season getting underway. So grab some daily premium picks and long-term subscriptions as well. wizardsportspicks.com. And, of course, patreon.com/Ice Guys, $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, daily betting cards, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page, and a ton of betcasts coming up in April and beyond for our Patreon members, exclusively for you guys. So now's still a great time to get on board. The $50 off discount for a 1 month all sports subscription with me at Dub Club is still available too for Patreon Ice Guys members only. That offer posted on the Patreon page as well. So check it out, $10 per month. Your membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. $10 per month, patreon.com/iceguys.
Also, check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We've got hoodies, we've got caps, we've got T-shirts, we've got mugs, we've got all kind of wonderful items. You can grab them right now over at the Ice Guys store. That's iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Good stuff indeed. All right, make sure you check that out. And Amadio's that's really good, Al. That's good work by you mentioning Michael Amadio. You're right. He started to pick things up a little bit for Ottawa offensively. So if you're thinking of a goal prop with the Senators Monday night in that game against the New York Rangers, Michael Amadio might be worthy of consideration as well. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
All right, there you go. Great stuff from, make sure you check out our sponsors and, of course, the Ice Guys store. Want to mention it before we get to Bargain Bin Special tonight. Just a reminder, because we didn't put the graphic up yet about it. Betcast, of course, this Tuesday night, March 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm excited for this one just because it's been a while. This is like the longest hiatus we've had all season in between Betcasts, and it's obviously because of how busy it's been with all the college basketball going on. But finally, we are back at it, free for all, open to the public, live Betcast, Tuesday night, March 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. DM or email me or Alex for a spot on the Betcast, and we will send you the link for it before it begins. But, of course, preferential treatment in the VIP club to the Patreon members. They'll get the first dibs on a spot with us on the Betcast on Tuesday night. So, and it's a great card. Look at that schedule Tuesday. Yeah. A lot of good games, meaningful games, important games. Excited about that Betcast Tuesday night. Very much looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to Bargain Bin Special of the night right now to try to add to a 2-0 sweep last night with Bargain Bin Special of the night. Thanks to Anthony Sorelli and Emil Heineman cashing 2 Bargain Bin Specials last night for me. We'll see if we can add to it here on this Sunday. Alex, we'll start with you. Bargain Bin Special of the night.
Yeah, we'll give you one daytime one and one nighttime one. We'll start with the day game, which is Nashville taking on Chicago. And a Hawks player who's really been chipping in and just been noticeable at all at facets of the ice right now, Ilya Mikheyev. He's been buzzing, and I like him anytime goal scorer plus 450 available at FanDuel to get on the board. And we've seen him chip in a lot on Sundays, too, the last couple of years with him. So Ilya Mikheyev of the Hawks, anytime goal scorer, that's my daytime Bargain Bin Special. At night, we'll go to that Buffalo-Anaheim game. Like I said, I do like the Sabres in that contest, but one player who's been chipping in for the Ducks, Alex Killorn. You get him anytime goal scorer plus 430 for him. So that would be my second Bargain Bin Special tonight, Alex Killorn for the Anaheim Ducks, anytime goal scorer plus 430.
There you have it. Ilya Mikheyev, Chicago, and Alex Killorn, Anaheim for Alex with his Bargain Bin Specials of the night. My Bargain Bin Specials of the night, I have a day and a night one as well. I already mentioned it earlier on the show, the day best bet, or not the day best bet, the day Bargain Bin Special. Erik Karlsson, Pittsburgh Penguins, plus 500. It is a great price for him to find the back of the net. Actually, plus 520 is still out there at one of the books. So plus 520, the best price out there for Erik Karlsson, Pittsburgh Penguins. That is my first of 2 Bargain Bin Specials of the night. My second of 2 Bargain Bin Specials of the night. I hope I'm not a day late and $1 short on this one, but he's been red hot since he arrived in a trade for the Buffalo Sabres. Sam Carrick, We're going to see if we can strike at plus 900 at DraftKings with Sam Carrick for the Buffalo Sabres. 5 goals since he's been a member of the team. So I like these two, and great prices. Erik Karlsson, Pittsburgh, plus 500. Sam Carrick, Buffalo, plus 900 for my 2 bargain bin specials of the night for this Sunday slate. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you got for best bet?
Well, I haven't seen the full confirmation yet for either goalies in that Nashville-Chicago game, but whether it's Justus Annunen or Matt Murray, I think the Hawks are going to get some goals here tonight at home. So give me the Hawks team total, flat 3, minus 115 to the over. That'll be my Sunday best bet.
All right, there we go. Good stuff. And I am going to go with a team total for best bet as well. I really like this one. I like this setup for the Calgary Flames. Jonas Johansson has been dreadful lately. You look at every recent start. He's been giving up tons of goals in bunches. I don't like this spot for Tampa Bay. 3-0 road trip, final game, back-to-back. They go home to beautiful Florida, warm weather Florida after this. I could see them not playing their A game tonight, and I think Calgary will take advantage of it. I was tempted to go the plus 150 on Calgary for best bet, but I'm going to go with the team total instead. I think that's just a little bit of a safer option because I could see Tampa Bay scoring on Devin Cooley and the Flames, but I think Calgary gets to 3 tonight. So Calgary Flames team total over 2.5 minus 120. Best price available for my best bet here for this Sunday NHL card. Shout out to everyone. Again, a reminder, we do not have a show tomorrow on Monday. We talked Senators Rangers today, so we will be back with you Tuesday at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern time for our next edition of the Ice Guys. And Matty Robb will be with me on Tuesday for that show. And, of course, the Betcast, 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday night. Like I said, it's been too long since we've gathered together with our great Ice Guys family and just chilling, drinking some brews or anything else, a little whiskey, whatever the case may be, watching the games, placing some live bets. It'll be fun to get back into that swing of things Tuesday night. So very much looking forward to that live betcast. A reminder, the Ice Guys, and check out Alex in the Sun Times. Get a copy of the paper or check out his article on the online website there for the Chicago Sun-Times. It's a great story that was done. Great job. All right, a reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Sunday and Monday. Enjoy the next couple of days and good luck, and we'll see you Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Ice Guys.